Welcome to the RS2G podcast, where I motivate, inspire listeners by discussing failures, success, and the journey of a rebirth. If you are someone who wants to hear the honest truth from a host that puts his right hand to God, as I interview people who have built empires and sometimes watched them crumble as their lives have taken an unexpected twists and turns, this podcast is for you. Life is not always easy. And as a combat military veteran, active military for 14 years, I know about sacrifice and facing fears and true loyalty. I can't wait to take you on this rebirth journey with myself and my guests as we discuss life and living with your right hand to God. Boom.
It's a capsule.
Welcome to the RH2G podcast, where we hustle and motivate and inspire. And we got an awesome guest today. We got an awesome guest that takes me back all the way to 2002 and 3, where we met in Germany. We got my boy, Quatrell Walker, a successful motivational speaker, life coach, counsel, and an awesome father and an entrepreneur. Welcome.
Appreciate you, man. It's a blessing. Thank you for having me.
Coming,
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Hey, let's go live.
Yes.
Hey, check it out, man. I always want to have these conversations with you. We've been having them all weekend, and now we're about to end it because, you know what I'm saying, you coming from New York, you put your time in, you wanted to come on the podcast and represent who you are and represent RS2G, man. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, man. I've been doing it for a little bit. We've known each other for forever, it seemed like,
brothers.
you know. Anytime you play in the sandbox with somebody and been through the austere environments that we've been through, it's like we came from the same womb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I consider you a brother in arms as anybody else. So.
Yeah.
That's the first and foremost blessing, and it's even more so that God has, you know, put us back into this place, in this environment where we at now. So and say, you know what, y'all paths are aligned. You know, I didn't even know at the time you was doing this, motivational aspect like I was doing, and I started seeing you, and I was like, okay, let me go ahead and touch bases and see if we can collab and do something. And there was no gatekeeping, there was no nothing, there was open arms. So I was like, just like I seen you back then when we was together, you know, with Livewire, people might not know. But
talk about it.
Yo, I'm talking about 21 years old, having full productions for people and running, you know, big events. So I was like, anything I know that JR touch is going to be gold. So it was a blessing that, you know, the divine intervention had put us together so we could go ahead and make bigger and better things and get our message out there. That's the biggest thing.
Definitely.
So, I mean, I've been doing it for quite some time, and it was unbeknownst to me, to be honest with you. I didn't even know that I was teaching, coaching, and mentoring. Real quick synopsis is I worked myself out of work. You know, I was a GS employee. I was stuck in the rat race, you know, in that hamster wheel of life, you know, turning my wheels, waiting for the 1st and the 15th, kind of like the Army. That
definitely.
You know? So I was like, I got to break these chains and get out of here because I know the grass is greener on the other side. So I bet on myself, you know. I started to work with cars, you know, detailing. I spent some hours in that as a hobby. And then that hobby just turned into my passion. I was like, yo, people were like, you're really good at what you're doing. You know, you have an eye for that. So coming from the Army aspect and the old guard, 3rd U.S. Infantry, ceremonial escort to the president, it was one of those things that you had to be attentive to detail. So if you were 1/16 of an inch off your gig line, get out of formation type stuff. You know what I mean? So that just bestowed into the work ethic and the principles into my company, White Glove Auto Detailing at the time. So I was putting out a superior product, far better than anybody else in the area. Then people started to come to me like, yo, what are you doing? So I'm like, okay, you want to learn and you want to come and put the time in, I'm gonna give you all the knowledge that I have. So like I said, each one teach one. I cannot service, you know, the demographics of how many people we have. We have about over 200,000 people. So I can't service everybody, but what I can do is ensure that somebody who's looking to get on that level, bring them up to speed so they're all putting out a quality product. So, and after that, man, 4 other individuals, these guys have been doing well for themselves, and they're all over 6-figure earners now, you know, and it's a bona fide need within the transportation niche. So somebody actually said, hey, man, you're doing so well on how you teach people. It was a no-brainer. So I kind of just transitioned right into it so I can speak on those facts.
Talk
you know?
about it,
So it was good, man. It was real good. God was good in that way by blessing me with that and giving back to others in the community, because something like that is never going anywhere. We have a lot of AI, and things taking over, but this is something that a human element will always have to have. So it provides a sense of security if you're willing to devote the time, energy, and effort.
Hands on.
Done deal, hands on.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
After that, it was like, man, you have a way with words and how you craft it and how you can make things, happen and paint a picture for me. I can really see it. So that pretty much pushed me out into the edge and said, okay, I'm not going to be selfish, because I was selfish. I was dealing with imposter syndrome, thinking like, I'm no Tony Robbins, and I'm not the Zig Ziglars, I'm not E.T. and these other these big powerful speakers out there that you see. I'm like, I can never match up to those guys.
But you are that.
But I'm doing that.
You are that.
Yes, and I'm doing it. And I didn't realize that.
And you've been that.
Correct.
Since 2003.
Correct.
We've been doing it.
All day.
And I'm gonna give you a flower straight up. I'm gonna give you your bouquet of flowers. You've been doing it. You've been leading the way. I remember when I first met you, and we was in Germany, and me and Curtis, they said they had a new DJ because you was DJing.
Correct.
So you came to Schweinfurt, and you were new to the unit, and we already had our company up and rolling called Livewire Entertainment. We were bringing the entertainment to the soldiers out there in Schweinfurt, and they said they had a new DJ, so we went to go peep you out at the club.
Right.
They brought you on board. And I remember vividly when Hypnotic said, okay, you got a new DJ, bring him up on the stage. So they brought you on the stage. You already had your playlist set.
Done.
And me and Curtis, bless his heart, my best friend passed away in 2005. I still rock his bracelet. Me and him as young kids, he was 19 and I was 20, and we was running a company, and we went to the DJ booth, and we was like, hey, we introduced you to DJ Hypnotic and said, hey, this is our new DJ. We want to see what he got. And you had your playlist, and we stepped back. As soon as you played Lil Me D, hey, we couldn't help but start dancing. You started to fire in the club, and we said, you know what? It's a must. We have alternate DJs.
Yes.
And from then on, Hypnotic fell in love with you, and we all fell in love with you. And that we built our brotherhood of Livewire, and we branched out, and we gave Germany a handful of entertainment. And that was one of the best times of my life. We didn't know anything about entrepreneurship, anything about business, anything. We just know that we wanted to be heard. There was no social media, so we couldn't post it. But if you go back and ask Germany about Livewire, they know about us.
To this day.
To this day. And what did Livewire do for you back then?
Oh, man, it was just a brotherhood, man. Just to have all of us together to be able to put on events just for the community in a positive way. I mean, we stopped the DUIs for people and crashes and things like that. So we didn't have these guys on the blotter. So we just formulating, putting the buses out there and taking soldiers to these events and having a little woo-woo punch on the bus, have a good time, pay your fee and the ticket and then have the comfort and feeling that you know you're going to get home safe.
Yes.
That's what just kept it even more. So it was the best thing ever, man. Germany is always going to be in the forefront, man.
That was our
crazy.
sales pitch. Remember when we got back and we wanted to be a part of stopping the DUIs in Germany. And there was a lot of DUIs because people would drink and drive from the clubs in Germany because the clubs didn't end till later, right? So as young kids, we came up with an idea to approach the bus systems and pay them a lump sum fee. And we was able to get 6 buses. And every weekend, have the soldiers pay their ticket price, their bus fare, and their way in the club as a lump sum to us. We would get them there and get them back safely, and it drastically dropped the DUIs. And I bet you a lot of people forgot about that while 100%. We did that. And that was part of our business plan. And that was crazy because we were kids. And we came up with that all together at our meetings we used to have in the DFAC. Crazy, man. Crazy, man.
I mean, it started taking traction when the commander was giving notice to it too.
Come on, man.
When you
shout out to our commander.
Yeah, man.
First Lightning.
Big time. And when you have, the eyes of the top brass looking down on you and you doing the right thing, that just propels you to keep going forward with what we're doing in that mission,
Definitely.
So, I mean, not only that, when you have, big acts, Lumity, Bone Crusher, Yin Yang, I mean, we brought them.
Everybody.
Everybody.
We brought everybody to Germany, even before they was blown up.
Yes.
We gave them an outlet. And we let them. That's when the South was blowing up really big, Atlanta, and their hip hop was coming out. And at that time, that's all the music that was coming out around that time when I was in Germany. And we brought them there. We promoted them. We brought them to the clubs, and the clubs were sold out all the time.
All the time.
We rep Livewire Entertainment, and we was able to bridge that gap between the United States and Germany before these promoters got to Germany like that.
That's right.
That's crazy. We did that, man. And just to go back on a little bit, man. our dear brother Curtis, I just was able to, after 20 years, meet his beautiful daughter, Kaisha Wooten. And she looks just like him.
Spitting image.
Spitting image. And I was able to meet her in Florida and spend a couple of hours with her, take her out to eat, and just see him. And I wish that man was here to see his daughter. And, I never question why things happen. I just miss him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's the reason why I continue to do what I do right now. We lost a lot of guys in combat, but he was one of the ones that was he had so much potential.
Too much.
So much.
And it's funny you say that because I believe in that, and I believe that he sees that we still have potential because 2004, when we were actually going to his memorial service, we deviated off the route. You was on the route.
Yes.
I mean, it was to the point where the commander already knew, like, okay, that's just your guy's guy, and I see what you're doing. Y'all take the 2 trucks, go on out of here.
Yeah.
We was going to Palo Water to go to the memorial service. So in that route, fortunately, we was hit. You know, we deviated off the route. We were supposed to take MSR Tampa. We was running a little behind, so the commander at the time was like, we're going to shave off 45 minutes to an hour, and took that road that basically was not, cleared.
Yeah.
And, he was looking down on me that day, and somebody was, and I feel the validation from that because my wife had actually went to psychic, and I was like, I don't believe in all that kind of stuff, at the time. And I was just going to go sit in because her friend was supposed to have been there with her. She had to drop out medical stuff. So I was like, all right, cool. We get into the joint, and I'm sitting down. The lady didn't even start talking to my wife. She was like, oh, you got too much energy here. I have somebody coming in.
Yeah.
And once she started to talk, and she was like, well, I can't say some certain things, but this guy is loud and this and that. I was like, okay, that's definitely Wooten coming in. And sure enough, she was validating, saying to me and letting me know that he was there on that day to make sure that I was watched over. So, yeah, that was crazy, man. And that makes me believe, it's walking by faith, you know what I'm saying, not by sight. And at that day, the faith was on my side because he was watching over me.
Right.
So you can't understand the things you can't see, but right now I'm starting to wrap my head around it and comprehend a little bit more, So thank you.
That was crazy times too, man.
Man.
Our commander let us go to his memorial, and on our way there, we was still trying not to die.
Right.
So we wasn't allowing anybody to get inside the convoy, in front of it, or behind it. Because I remember I was on a 50 cal.
That's right.
And I was lighting that thing up on MSR Tampa.
That's right.
And it just brings back memories of what we did in 04.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild West in Iraq, man.
Sandbags and all.
Hey, let's talk about that, man. We was just talking about that the other day, that it was crazy how the TTP was to leave Kuwait in chalks with sandbags at our feet. Can you elaborate on that? Because I remember it messed my head up. I was why are we doing this? But
first and foremost is like I go into the bay, okay? And I'm like, what they doing? Oh, they putting some steel plates on the sides.
Making it heavier.
Because we didn't have, making it heavier. So the maneuverability of the vehicle, you're going to have a vehicle tipping over. Now it's like being top heavy.
Yeah.
So you can't move your Humvee like you should. So, and then to top it off with the sandbags and the make gunner's turret that we had, it's crazy. So I was like, we was doing anything we could do, but the administration at the time, they were like, oh, it's soft skins, it's too hot out there, they don't need all this and that, whatever it was. It was what it is. But it was nuts on how we had to basically, make our own, way to be safe, to put the extra securities around us. And I think, to be personally honest with you, I think the sandbag was just a void, because if something was to go off and something was to happen, you just covered with sand now. You know what I mean? There was nothing that was going to stop, the
it was more damage.
Absolutely.
More damage.
Absolutely.
Shrapnel all over the place.
Everywhere.
I never understood it, but now that you think about it now, whoever said to stop IED explosions, because it was 11-14s we were in. These were the Humvees before that. We was putting extra armor on it, like the A-team, and then putting sandbags, and then we had to open doors, because I was transferred out.
Yeah.
So my A16A2 with the 203 round, we outside the door, the window, with sandbags at our feet, and we get hit, we done. Donald Dunsky, we done, period. Hey, listen, we was already prepared for that, but that was a 36-hour hike from Kuwait to Fob Summerall. Can you talk about that?
Oh, man. I mean, you talking about, first and foremost, when you get off the plane, I've never felt anything hot. It's like opening the oven door. It took my breath away.
It was miserable.
Took my breath away.
Miserable.
I mean, if somebody was on the fat body system, or they was on the, the PT.
They losing weight.
Yeah, they losing weight real quick.
Right
with that
now.
IBA and all that heat that came on, just sweating it out. They came back looking fresh and clean.
But on top of that, it was dipped in butter. It was dipped in all these chemicals that we dipped our uniforms in for malaria and to fight against things that we were preparing for over there.
Yes.
So it was hot.
You absorbing it.
And it smelled weird. And my skin is on fire because all these chemicals are inside of my DCUs.
And it was supposed to keep the triggers or something kind of little sand fleas or something off.
It didn't keep nothing off.
It didn't keep nothing off. Yeah. All that stuff did was soak into your system, man. So it was crazy. It was crazy.
It's crazy how we still here, right?
But yeah, it's just things that we could talk about, you know.
Always, and that's why we here.
Being in that environment, you know, Alex on his podcast earlier had said something about, you know, complacency. I mean, it was to the fact that we in the DFAC eating, you get the new units coming in, and they like, well, you better put your IBA on, you have this and that on. I'm like, listen, if you eat in the chow hall and they drop a daggone mortar round or a rocket over here, it's a wrap, dude. It was your time.
It was your time.
What I mean? So all that stuff ain't gonna protect you.
No.
So we just got to the point, you know, do our job to the best of our capability and get home as soon as we can. But the worst part is that the grieving process.
We didn't have time to grieve.
We didn't have no time. Bro. I mean, people look at me and be like, man, Walk, you still in shape? You looking good? This and that.
That's grieving.
That was grieving.
That's the gym.
Yes.
It's still.
Correct.
I tell people all the time, gym and prayer saved my life when I was in Iraq. I said, as soon as something would happen to one of us, midnight chow, in the morning, we in the gym, and then we go eat. Why are you in this gym? Because I'm trying to figure out how I'm not crying, and I just saw this dismembered body.
Right.
I'm not going to say the names of these soldiers.
Right.
You know, God bless their soul.
Right.
But we lost so many back to back.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Young soldiers. We were young. I'm 43 right now.
Yep.
That's 20 years ago.
18, 19
So we
years
was 19,
old.
20,
Crazy.
21 years old fighting for our country, and we didn't even know what was going on. But we was just in the midst.
That's it.
In the midst.
That's it.
Right? Remember going to Fob Summerall? And I know I was an E3. I remember I was on shit detail.
Yes.
I had to burn poop with JP8 and stir it like oatmeal.
Yep.
And the doctor used to ask me, like, when I go to my therapy, because I do go to my therapist, JR, what is your PTSD moment? Like, I read the records and I say it's many, but first it's flies and poop. I feel like they issued us 100 flies when we got over there, off the flight, off rip.
Right
hey,
out.
you got your A and B bag, but you got your 100 flies too. You know what I'm saying? So how did you feel about that, man? Because I still got a phobia of flies right now and poop. I couldn't even change Jaylani's diaper when he was little because I hated poop. I hate porta potties to this day.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at it with the burn pits and how close proximity it was to us. I mean, we could be in our shoes when we sleeping, but yet that's still carrying into your where your quarters at, where you smell, where you sleeping.
Right.
So you couldn't even really get no good sleep because you smelling burnt trash. So people looking at me like, yo, as right now to this day, like, oh, you don't like the smell of burnt trash. I'm like, no, I can't stand that. I can't stand that. And I could definitely relate with you on the flies because when I'm eating in a DFAC and I got to fight, you know, I'm
100 flies.
trying to eat 100 flies to eat. Like, what is going on?
Oh, man. And it messes with your brain because you got to understand that we were still just fighting for survival.
Right.
Right? And we brung the best.
Right.
Imagine how the foreigners were living over there.
Oh, man.
Remember in the mud huts, how they were used to, and they was okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with having 1,000 flies around me.
No.
I'm not okay with burning my poop. And it was crazy as the Army, I went through a class called field sanitation. And it's ways how you simulate, how you put the bathrooms downrange and how the DFAC is supposed to be set up and how you pull guard and all that. But when we got there, it didn't even matter.
Didn't even relate.
Yeah,
you're supposed to have stuff certain feet away and everything else. Didn't even matter. Didn't even matter.
I don't care if it was a mile away. You can still smell it.
Still
and then we would piss in piss bottles. And I remember we used to go out before the porta potties. Outside our chew, there was a probably about 30 feet away where they had dug holes where we just piss in that hole.
Yep.
The ground started to crack.
Yes. Yes.
It wasn't receiving it well. You're not supposed to be.
Well, here's the thing, too. You forget, when you go into the daggone porta potty, you bound to pass out.
Come on, sweat to death.
Just pass out. It was over 150 degrees plus in there.
Come on,
cooking.
Dog. Cooking.
So nobody wanted to go in the porta potty.
And then read the lame jokes about Chuck Norris. Hey, we over here reminiscing. No, but that's what the world needs to see. We are that golden age of Operation Iraqi Freedom. I went
100%.
back to back like the Lakers 3 times.
Yep.
3 times like a madman.
100%.
But every time was different to a point to where I knew Iraq like the back of my hand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like Fob Summerall kicked it off, but that was the only tour we went on.
That's right.
We kept going back.
That's right.
But it set the precedence for what was to come. Right?
That's true.
It set the it was like, all right, if this is it, we know we're gonna die. But how we gonna die, we don't know. But we still gonna give it our 100%.
100%.
That's it. for our country.
Yeah, I mean, at the point after our vehicle was hit, I'm like, it's like epiphany. You know what I mean? It's like a light bulb came on. Like something else was greater for you.
Come
know?
on, God has. This is what it is.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, now I got to go ahead and elaborate and see. So I was like, all right, I'm out. I went to my next duty station. I got over to Drum. As soon as I got to Fort Drum, guess what? Boom, we going to Afghanistan. I'm like, okay, I already been in the desert in a sandbox. Okay, so what we going into over here? So, I mean, it's the same concepts. You can relate. You driving your vehicle, and next thing you know, you looking down a cliff that going 150 feet down, and then you got trucks that are larger than the road as supposed to holding them, and they going off the cliff. Now we have other soldiers that casualties. So it was crazy, man. It's just to have a newfound appreciation of what we have here. It makes me really want to give all that I have.
That's why we're doing what we're doing.
That's exactly
and that's
why we're doing it.
Our voices as motivational speakers, life coaches, has to resonate, and we have to be accepted in our community because we are them kids that came from the hood that had no way out. The Army was my only option, and the Army saved my life from seeing gang violence, drugs, hustlers, prostitutes. My mother died of AIDS. My mother was on drugs. I was a crack baby. Seeing all this, then going to see all that. Dipped in butter, back-to-back tours in Iraq. And now it all makes sense why God wanted me to see that. Because I'm a motivational speaker and I do it now. And all I'm asking for, and I'm looking into the camera, is for these OGs of the motivational speaking world like the Les Browns, E.T.s, Zicky, Icky Johnson, my man, the Navy SEAL, Goggins.
Yeah.
Open the door for guys like us. We've seen combat. We've seen the worst of the worst. We was entrepreneurs after we got out the military. I failed in business. I'm educated. I'm in my doctorate program. I got my master's. Open the door.
That's it.
Please. Because if you don't, we are born to be competitive in the nature where the military trained us, and we're going to take it whether you like it or not.
One way
and that's how I feel because I'm so passionate. That's why I'm looking in the camera because I really want to be mentored by these guys. But if you don't open the door and let us in, we're going to kick it in like we used to in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we're going to breach our objective.
That's it.
And we're going to search and destroy. That's it. We're looking for the bolo list. Be on the lookout. And I'm here, and I'm ready, and I'm hungry, and I'm sorry I had to detour, but I'm ready because I'm tired of getting on these stages or seeing these speakers speak, and you're not leading these kids or these people down the right way. You giving them ideas and normalities of what you saw. You're not. Your rhetoric has been stuck for 10 years. Y'all don't want to hear us.
It's the old ways.
It's the old ways.
These guys you got to look at, they're looking at the Zig Ziglars, the old school guys, John Maxwell, a lot of these guys like Les Brown, Eric Thomas, Jeremy Anderson, and all these guys that are the speakers now that you see on YouTube and in the spotlight, they took their inspiration and motivation from them.
From them.
That's old school tactics. So guess what? I mean, it's a new breed.
Right.
Man.
And it's okay for them to be the Mount Rushmores.
That's okay.
But after the Mount Rushmores, you have this new NBA that's coming in that's really good. Give us a shot.
That's all it is.
That's it.
Man. That's all it
Don't
is.
gatekeep. And if you do, just stand by and let us come through because we are certified and verified, not because we know how to speak well, because we've been through the fire.
That's it.
You've been through the fire.
Hard. I mean, real elaboration on it is that I almost didn't have a chance to get into the Army. I was a knucklehead growing up. I was kicked out of my high school, wouldn't let me come back and graduate with the class. I'm over at Sunset doing some stuff, and they just mailed me my certificate. Like, here you go. So then I go over to the Army, and I'm like, or to the Marine Corps, try to jump in the Marines because real quick is that I always wanted to be the G.I. Joe. Play with him when I was a kid,
I love him.
Coming up. Love G.I. Joe. So I was like, you know what? That's my dream. That's my vision. So I'm going to go ahead and pursue that. Went over there and kind of got a little kick to my gut when they were like, you can't come into the Marine Corps because you got some pass on you. I'm like, okay. So I talked to the Army recruiter. He says, okay, we're going to see what we can do and work with you and see how we can, fandangle some things. So the recruiter actually went down to the judge, talked to the judge, the magistrate, and it was like, listen, we got him under our wing. We just, we can't really do too much because this is what's holding him back. And they were like, okay, if you got him, you need to take him right now. So as soon as they said that, it was done deal. I'm right in basic training. You know what I mean? So from not having a second chance, I'm going to excel in that. So I got my PT up extended scale. I was the stud up over there.
Yeah, I saw you.
And the old guard came in right before we had graduated from our actual basic training. They were like, hey, we're selecting people to come through. You have to meet certain height, weight requirements. PT needs to be right. Plus, you need to be articulate and you need to be presentable.
Yeah.
So I fit those categories. And they gave me a shot. They were like, hey, do you want to ride horses? Are you afraid of horses? I was like, man, I'm open arms to anything to get me up out of here.
I want to do something.
Pretty much, right? I want to be able to contribute. And I didn't know what the old guard was. I had no idea about that. So once I got there and found out what it was all about, I'm like, okay, this is really where it's at. This isn't even the real Army. We doing stuff at the Ellipse in front of the White House. Doing Twilight tattoos. We doing Spirit of Americas. We doing a lot of stuff.
Talk about it.
And to be able to have that, significance, to be able to support and do these missions and help these guys, families in Arlington National Cemetery. This is the last commemorable moment that family's going to remember. You know what I mean?
Them know.
So when you are able to give your all at that, top-notch level and be precise on what you're doing, man, it goes a long way and it shows. And it's instant gratification when you see those family members showing you that respect, saying, hey, I appreciate, the service on how you guys handle yourself, your military bearing and everything like that. So I always going to stick with me and resonate, you know. But after that, man, I moved on forward. Like we got to play in the sandbox and everything else, a culmination of things. I said, well, this is a true vision of me. Where am I going to go? So I said, I'm gifted with speaking. So if I can speak those words into you and speak life into you and actually see you come out and shift your mind and actually do something, 1 degree of a change, and now you actually are gaining process and see the traction coming. Man, it's no greater feeling to have somebody come back to you and be like, what you said to me resonated. This is where I'm at now. Man, that's a beautiful thing.
Wow. And my name is Dr. J.R. McIntyre. I'm a certified motivational speaker and a social media influencer. And I can't wait to teach you how to excel your real estate business on the LinkedIn platform. LinkedIn is actually the most underrated social media platform. In my class, Elevate Your Real Estate Success or LinkedIn Mastery, you will learn 3 key principles. Number 1, how to generate your high quality leads. Number 2, get personal branding and excellence. Number 3, strategic networking strategies. If you want to be a disruptor in the real estate industry, this class is definitely for you. I see you online and I can't wait to take your LinkedIn profile to the next level. JR out. Boom. And that's why we do what we do, the touch. If you're not inspired to be inspired, then you need to get out this way, get out the way, get out the field, stop pretending, stop playing. Because a lot of these people are playing with people's lives. Because I spoke about it the other day, how are we handing out 12-step processes on how to be rich and you're not rich?
Right. 100%.
I see that all the time on Instagram. 100%. And I'm not calling nobody out, but at the end of the day, you can't teach me how to drive a Lamborghini or own a Mercedes if you never own one or test drove it.
That's it.
Why are we talking about selling this type of situation where you're not even involved in it?
That's it.
You're not even involved. I remember when I was going through my sports medicine program at Kaiser. God bless his situation, but my professor was overweight. But you teaching us how to stay in shape.
Talk to him.
It confused me, man.
Yeah.
I was conflicted.
First things first is, what was your perception of him as an overweight guy, but you're in this field? How can you give me knowledge and you not applying the tools of what you spitting?
Right, and you knew all the knowledge.
Come on now.
So that lets me know education is not how smart you are. It's consistency. You didn't apply that to yourself.
Apply.
You didn't.
When you hit me and we rekindled and touched bases back, I was like, hey, what you got? Jay was like, hey, you need to get X, Y, and Z. Boom. I went out the next day, got on it, got my grind up, got the bachelor's done, already enrolled in the MBA program. Next thing is a doctorate. You know what I mean? So the credentials is there.
Each one teach one.
That's it. Yeah. So I'm not boo-boo the fool out here just to be talking about nothing. I'm giving you my real life experiences, but yet I'm credited up with the colleges and institutions to back and verify. He's no dummy. He's in business.
Yeah,
He's doing what he's need to be doing. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Other entrepreneurs that are coming up can see what I'm doing, and I'm like, okay, well let me put you in the microscope and see what I can help you with.
Yeah,
you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not about being greedy. I don't have the Schmeagle effect, you know?
That's
my precious. Yeah, get out of here with that.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that.
Come on, bro.
If I could give you back and then see you actually do it, I'm going to come at you again and help you go to the next level.
Whatever we can do to help you.
That's it.
That's what we're doing, because a lot of people are, it's mine, and I won't give it to you, and I'm going to create these mastery programs. It ain't mastery.
No.
It's confusion.
That's all it is.
Because now you're coming after my money, but you're saying the same thing. You're just putting a little sweetener on it. Stop sugarcoating it. Let the people know how it is. Engage in them. Show them how they can educate themselves and get out the way.
Yes.
You even went the more step, and you went to the Les Brown programs.
Yes.
You went to the Maxwell,
Yes.
and I commend you for that because that's what it's all about.
Yes.
If you're going to enter these fields,
right,
be trained about it.
I want to know.
I want to know.
I'm coming in blind and naked. You see what I mean? Just like baby in the womb coming out. You see what I'm saying? So now, with that being said, let me get the right mentors.
Right.
Let me get the right people and find out what this is all about.
Right.
So get certified. Get that education up. So then when somebody does try to come at you sideways and talk out the side of their neck, no, I'm already credited.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I'm here. Yeah, and I'm not changing my image.
No.
Yeah, because that was a thing of mine when I was starting to speak. Oh, you got to take the hat off. Oh, you trying to look too much like E.T. And then when they heard me speak,
done.
They stepped in poop because you didn't know I served my country. You didn't know I had a Bronze Star. You didn't know I was educated. You didn't know that I had plans on getting my doctorate. Now, in 3 years, you'll be calling me Dr. McIntyre. Now, I don't. And on top of that, the hood motivator is still gonna be here. I'm still here because I came from the hood. But don't get it twisted.
Yes.
This is why we do what we do, because we want to give that motivation. Why we want to give that insight. We want to help that special person. I had a call this morning. I did some life coaching for a couple, and I let them know. And that's what they want to hear. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Everything sometimes I think is people get caught up with the money scheme and they forget about, touching people's lives. And, the purpose behind it. I mean, once you get to the grand scheme of things, monetarily things are okay. You need to still eat and put food on your table, correct? But you can't put that in the forefront. You're touching lives and touching hearts. If you're not getting any results from these individuals that you so-called teaching, coaching, and mentoring, what are you doing? You need to reevaluate yourself.
I call it, what's the dude name? We was young, and he was going around, he had a church, a cult, and he made people drink the drink, and like 80 people died. Led them down the wrong way. But they was convinced that he was the truth. Yeah. That's what we're doing right now. Yeah. We watching everybody who got all these likes, all these followers, but they not leading nobody nowhere. No. It's all about them. They got the mansion, they got the Lambo, they got all this stuff. I'm disappointed. Yeah. I'm disappointed. I opened up my stage for people to come perform and do what they got to do. Some people pulled out. Some people never answered their phone. Some people lied on me. Some people hated. But this is what God want me to do. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And all it does is fuel my fire because I'm hyped up. Yeah. The future's bright.
Yeah, it's good too, man. Is when you have, you got to have that in your circle. Because everybody's circle, they either have somebody negative, always want to, point out negative things, But when you narrow that down and shed the dead skin of those people causing that heavy weight on you, putting that stuff, interjecting it and that negative energy on you, because you don't understand that negative energy is projected onto you. You ingesting that. Yeah. I don't want that. Get out of here with that. Yeah. Give me that positive vibes. Don't talk to me about, oh, that's too hard.
Oh, we can't.
Yeah, or you can't do that, or it's going to be this or that. That's your vision. Yeah. That's your idea. Right. I see what I'm doing. Right. I know where I'm going with it. You know what I mean?
And I know where I'm going too. And we all know it. That's why we operate under the same umbrella, Right Hand to God, RH2G, management and consultant. We life coaches, we motivational speakers. We here to stay. We educated. We know our PCCs, PCIs, and we just want to be seen. And at the end of the day, that's all we want. It's inspired. It's each one teach one. And I'm saying it. Hey, if you out there and you motivated and you life coaching and you doing all these things and you touching people, you better be touching them.
That's it, man. That's beautiful.
You better be touching
That's beautiful. I mean, they say you got to walk the walk, and talk the talk.
Come on, man.
You got to bring it, and it shows when the personnel are actually showing up and showing out, okay? I'm the type of person, I'm cut from a different cloth. Yeah. Okay. Everybody's cut from a different cloth. Yeah. But when you tell me something, my father said, stand on your word. You see what I mean? Anything you have is your word. So you tell somebody you're doing something, make sure you do it.
Make sure you do it.
So when you say, hey, I'm doing X, Y, say less.
Here we go.
I got the management team like, oh, we don't need nothing from him. He already sent his stuff out. Boom.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm ready. Yeah. Let's go.
We'll get them right.
So be ready.
Yeah.
Get your azimuth, shoot your shot, and boom, get right.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
And I want to give a huge shout out to the team. They performed heavy on Saturday.
Beautiful.
The girls,
beautiful.
Miss Brittany, Miss Tasha, Miss Leah, Miss Jolena, Miss Nevaeh, my auntie performed. Man, they got the team situated.
Yes.
All the Lioness run the whole company.
All of them.
And I love it because I'm able to do me. And I'm able to just to play ball.
That's it.
That's it. I just want to play ball.
I'm the talent.
That's
just
it.
Show up.
I just want to play ball. I just want to do. They don't let y'all got it. Tell me what to do. I'm here. Use me.
Man,
I want to be used. And guess what? It's a beautiful thing happening.
It
and
is.
I shout out to Pastor Tommy for always coming through and letting me. I go to Crossover Church. Shout out to Crossover Church. Him and Lily and Miss Lucy, his wife, allow me to throw my conferences there because I am appreciative. And I thank you so much because no one believed in me. When I started to speak, they was like, oh, take away this little guy and then you can get on the stage. And I didn't want to take him away because he meant so much to me. You know, I came from the hood, but I'm not the hood. But don't stop at the hood motivator. Open them up. I got a cartoon coming. We got all the gear coming. You know, we got shows coming. Me and Quatrell is about to bless a lot of shows. And at the end of the day, either you with us or you just get out our way. That's it.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's amazing because the stories we tell that resonate, you know, to the kids, to the youth, to the veterans, you know, that are dealing with the PTSD, that are fighting these internal demons, that don't know how to use the outlet and the resources, that need to hear something coming from us. You know what I mean? That have been there, that look like us. You know what I mean? So the resignation, they could be like, okay, these guys could do it. I know I could do it. You know what I mean? So we trying to get out into these boots to businesses. We trying to get with the VBAs and we trying to get out there, but it's almost like everybody want to keep the door closed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
like,
not your time yet.
Yeah,
it's my time.
But it's I'm over that. You know, we kicking them in. You know, if you don't want to take us there and help us out, we doing it ourselves. That's not a problem.
I know several ways how to you know, enter a building. Several ways. So that being said, if you know what I'm saying, let us in the front door. That's it, please. Yeah, we beg you because we are hungry, we are ready, and we ready to just shake the room up. That's it. You know, and I mean, I love the fact that, you know, your energy is always on point, but you're very, very professional. How does that like be sustainable in a situation you're doing right now?
You know, it's sometimes you gotta look in, you know, deep. You know, because you can't be motivated all the time.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Who motivates the unmotivated?
Right. It's tough. It's tough. You know what I mean? I have that positive energy, and I look at, if it's something negative, there's always a positive out of the negative because I'm not insane, number one. I'm not going to create that negative cycle again and again. That's the definition of insanity. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to take my notes on where I took my L at, my loss, and I'm going to go ahead and jot that down, and I'm going to go ahead and revamp my game plan and make sure that doesn't happen again. So being able to do that and overcome a lot of the adversity throughout life and our trials and tribulations that we've been through, being able to, in these third world countries, you know what I mean? It makes you feel like, okay, I've already seen and done a lot of stuff that nobody's ever seen and done.
Ever. Oh, we'll never do again.
Never do.
Our base is shut down in Germany right now.
Yes.
And the bases we went to Iraq is gone. They gave it back to them.
Yes.
So you can't, and that's why I tell people all the time. You could try to, you know, go get your education, but you can't go back and fight these war on terrorism that we did. You can't get the experience that we saw as kids fighting these wars and able to say, you know what, we survived, but we didn't survive. I left a lot of JR in Iraq and Afghanistan, a lot of me. But on the caveat, look who I am today. You know, so it's kind of like, it's kind of weird, but fighting the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, it messed me up a lot. But it made me who I am today. And I would tell them the Army saved my life. I don't have nothing bad to say about you know, the people change it, but not the Army. The Army is a big business. And at the end of the day, they the greatest business. They show you how to be CEOs. They show you how to be presidents. They show you how to come up, be dressed. They show you how to show up on time. They show you physical fitness.
That's right.
It's just up to you to obtain it.
That's it.
That's it.
If you can maintain what they instilled in you, then your life in the civilian sector should be easy, smooth sailing. You know, it's funny because when the transition was in there, being a go-getter, and you want to get out there and do things, when I got to the civilian sector, I'm like, yo, these guys are not like, they slow. Like, what is going on? You ask them to get something done, oh, they wait, kick rocks, you know, until, oh, well, can you help me? Like, you didn't even venture to try. You know what I mean? You just left that on the side, and you asking management, well, you didn't know, or this and that, but you didn't ask.
Cut it out.
You know, lend your hand out. Put your ego to the side.
Yeah, cut it out.
Okay, if you don't know, then ask the questions. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you afraid to ask because of the credentials and the things I have? Like, I'm not coming for your job.
I don't want it.
I don't need it.
Yeah,
I
want my stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on, man.
And then you make it uncomfortable for me to sit in them offices, corporate America, and it's a toxic situation.
Absolutely.
I tell you what I want, though. I won't be trying to fix my mental health and go work for somebody who's creating more mental health problems for me. That's a definition of toxicity. That is. And that's what was happening to me. I would go to work and I would try. And I love that the fact that I was able to get a 6-figure job after my bankruptcy. But you create more mental health problems for me. I'm trying to get fixed. You don't know. I don't have to send a warning shot to you. Something is wrong, and I'm trying to be professional in these situations, and I want to be here. But you're creating a situation where a lion is about to come out.
Talk to him.
You know, I try, and if something happens, he was crazy. Something I told you, but you push me.
Right.
But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna exit stage left.
And I'm take the high road.
I'm gonna take the high road, and then I'm gonna start believing in myself more, and that's what you see here. I'm a full-time life coach, full-time motivational speaker.
I was written off too. I'm gonna be honest. You know, from being out of schools in 5th grade. You know, people like, where's Quatrell at? I don't see him. He over in this school district. He over in that school district. I was already written off. Principal, everybody written me off. You know, but when you face the adversity and overcome it, and you have all that fuel in your kit and you apply it, man, nobody's gonna stop you. Now everybody coming back. The funny thing is that the haters, I'm still one from Billy Allsbrooks. He says, haters gonna hate, but they write in pencil. So once you make it to the top, they erase it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I remember that because once you say what you say, I don't forget. It's a permanent marker.
That's it.
You gave me that fuel.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's permanent to me.
Like AT said, there is a group of people that don't want my style.
Right.
I don't want to be you.
No.
There's a group of people that want me.
Correct.
Why do I got to interview for that process where there's a group of people that like the hood motivator?
Done.
Why?
Yeah, it's we got 8 billion people here, man. And
give me a percentage of that.
It's crazy. Just give me a half a fraction of that.
Yeah, 0.5.
That's it.
I'm happy.
I'm good with that.
Come on.
You know what I mean? And when I teach people these things, I'm like, listen, you are God's gift. He created you in his image and his light. So guess what? You have that gift. You got something within you. So let's work on that, build upon that. And once we do, you're going to have a market. They're going to love what you're bringing to the atmosphere to them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be what we do in the motivational speaking aspect, but you're good at something.
Right.
Wherever your time is devoted to that you just lost track of, then let's go ahead and expand upon that. Now you starting to get monetized for something that you love. You starting to look at different, the job aspect different that you going to. Like, hey, I just made X, Y, and Z for my hobby and my passion, and I didn't have to go listen to this toxicity at work around the copy machine about everybody's problems over the weekend they had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna get myself out of that because I got to get myself right inside, away from that.
Right.
So that's basically what happened for me. You know?
And when you start to elevate, like you go up in pressure, oxygen starts to leave. When eagles fly, and them crows are picking at them, you just go higher.
That's it.
So if your friends, family, and people that you thought that was in your corner ain't leaving, you ain't doing something right.
That's right.
So when I started to say that I wanted to be a motivational speaker, then I started to do it, then I started to post it, then I started to act like a madman every day and speak, then the jealousy came. But when I was a janitor or a bodyguard, you loved it. You loved it.
I love you at your low.
You loved it.
At your low.
But when I started to be walking my gift and my purpose, you got something to say, right?
That's always.
Yeah, and I'm so happy that we having this conversation because, God brought us right back into alignment together. You're a part of the team. You're representing Quatrell Rocker under RH2G. And I believe that next year we will be multi, and that's in mind, body, and soul.
Easy.
Because we are the message we bring. I stay in shape, I stay intellectual, I stay spiritual, I stay ready because at the end of the day, I want people to know I am the message I bring. This is it. You can't be on them stages motivating when you're a hypocrite. You're not living your life accordingly. Stop it.
Yes.
I learned that at a young age. That's a hypocrite. Stop it. And that's not only in Christianity, that's in life. You are capping. That cap don't fit you. Wear your cap. I'm from Long Beach. I wear my Long Beach cap, and that's probably only hat I wear that I rep from the city, from the state. But at the end of the day, stop capping.
Yes.
Because you're not standing on business. Business is standing on you.
When you cap, guess what? You can only go for so long. You're gonna have to take the mask off at some time.
No, it's gonna melt off.
It's gonna come right off.
It's gonna come off, and people gonna see your true colors.
Now you're gonna sit there and be like, ooh, looking like Boo Boo the Fool.
Exactly.
Okay, when you're getting exposed. So I mean, the microscope. I live in a glass house. I'm transparent. I don't have nothing to hide. You see what I'm saying? You can look at me all day under the microscope, and I'm gonna be true to you and authentic.
I am who I am.
Period.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna change that.
This is it. Yeah, and that's why we do what we do. And like I said, I'm happy that we coming back together. I'm happy that we got a lot of things in the horizon. Next month, in October, I speak at the Live to Lead conference. That's organized by the great Maxwell.
John Maxwell.
Yes. I read his books. Come on, man.
Yeah.
And I just want to be a part of the solution. Because a lot of us are living in that problem.
100%.
But they don't want to be a part of it. So if you coming at me with a problem, you better have a solution. I want to be a part of the solution.
I like that.
The kids, we are here to help these kids navigate from depression, mental health, anxiety, all these things they're feeling. We're here to help these veterans navigate, these kids that want to join the military, these veterans that are having the soldier for life problems. We are here to help these women navigate their problems, situational awareness, and help them get back to living their life.
That's it.
That's it.
You know, it's crazy because, you know, it's hard to focus on positivity with all the negativity that we have. I mean, you could pick your phone up and now you got some news blurb, oh, something happened here or there, negative all the time. So we got to change that narrative, you know, and it's up to us to do that.
Right.
Stop looking at how negative things are and look at what's positive in your life. Just think about this. You woke up this morning, right? You took that breath of air, right? Well, you best thank God for that. First and foremost, thank you for letting me be here for this day. I thank you, God. Now let me go ahead and contribute to you and give you what I can, my all.
Here we go.
You know? So it's almost like being selfish. You know what I'm saying? If you're not giving back the way that you can, full capacity, whether it's in your job, whether it's in your relationships, whatever, you should be all in, you know, burn the boats, whether it's in the business, burn the boats. Don't get out of that comfort zone, because once you get out of there, you're going to work harder and harder to make sure that it's working. It's going to be there for you, you know, and being able to teach people and coach them in the lines of that and showing them that, and then actually seeing that process happen and develop the metamorphosis from the caterpillar to the butterfly and watching that blossom. Come on, man. There's no better feeling inside of you to say that, hey, I helped you and you recognize that, I appreciate you.
That's what it is. Man. That's what it's all about. Man. That's my gratification, helping someone.
That's it.
Right? And that's probably one of my gifts and my curses, because I have a huge heart. And that's what my book is about. A good heart don't pay bills.
No.
Because you can help, and people will take your help all day. But guess what? You're going to have to pay for that now.
Yeah. Sermon last night or the other day, the pastor spoke about the lighthouse that resonated.
Come on, dog.
You know,
all the fuel he gave out.
Yeah, all the fuel he gave out to the people in the villages.
And
you know what I mean?
light his own fire back.
Couldn't light the fire up, and how many ships crashed into the rocks? Come on now.
That right there resonated with me so much.
Because I mean, your heart is like that.
Right. That's your fire.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You've been giving out so much love, but when it's time for you to be loved, where's everybody?
Gone. I can't.
They make excuse why they can't though.
Right.
I woke up late. I was in the gym. Seriously. That's you don't love me. Right. Love is action.
100%.
It's ing. It's loving. Yes. It's agape.
Yes.
Love.
Yes.
You know, I don't want to preach to them. You know what I'm saying?
You already know.
But that's what it is, bro. You heard what my pop said to me this morning.
Yes.
I told him, he said, what did he say? No, don't limit yourself to that.
Correct.
Do it all, JR.
Correct.
Do this.
And it resonated too, because I had to reiterate and chime in. I was like, yeah, listen, I heard the message, what he was saying, and I was seeing where you was going with it, because it kind of feels uncomfortable when somebody's older than me and I'm giving them life coaching experience, you know what I'm saying, to help them better themselves. Right. And it's like, man, he's 65, 70, he should be good to go, but no, he's not good to go. They not good to go because they looking for that. They outsource. They outlet. So I'm going to give you the knowledge that I have. Now, if you apply those tools and it's working for you, thank you.
Blessings.
That's it. Thank you. I'm glad to have helped you. You know what I mean? Now let's continue to keep on improving on and keep moving on. You know? And this is something too, is that when you build a relationship, those relationships just don't go away.
No.
I'm still on you. I'm checking in on you. You know, next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, or whatever the case may be, I'm gonna give you a call, text, whatever. Hey, how you doing? Everything good? Yeah. Just to let you know that it's not about money. It's not dollar. I care for you. You see what I mean?
Right.
So
and that's the message I dropped this morning on my Instagram on the Hub Motivator is, people only want to support you when it's popular. That's it.
That's true.
That's sad.
That's true.
Because what about when I'm trying and I'm here and all I need is, and I tell people all the time, people ask me, how much money, JR, you need to fuel your dream? I said, just put me in the right rooms. And that's all I'm asking.
That's it.
I'm gonna navigate the rooms by myself.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? I'm Jack Sparrow.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I'm in there. I got the boat. You know what I'm saying? I just put me in the rooms. I'll walk right up to Eric Thomas. How you doing, sir?
Yep.
Hey, this is me. I need some help. I want to be on the stage with you.
That's
and
it.
I know that's bold, but I don't care because guess what? We done been in combat.
Right.
I'm not supposed to be here.
Right.
So I'm gonna do what I got to do what I have to do. If you understand me.
Hey, the old saying, shoot, move, and communicate.
Come on, man.
Okay.
Shoot, move, and communicate.
That's it. That's
Come on.
it.
Know your sports.
That's it.
Come on.
That's
Slap,
it.
pull, observe, release, tap. Come on. They don't know about that. When your weapon malfunctions, come
What
on,
you
man.
gonna do?
Come on, dog. Sports. It just
Yeah.
came to me just like that.
Yes.
What you gonna do? Slap, pull, observe, release, tap.
Yes. Get your
Re-engage
shit
the
right.
target.
That's
what
it.
we doing. We re-engaging the target, man. And I thank you for coming on and sharing this message with me. Anything you want to say to the kids, man?
Yeah, listen, y'all, you got to understand. I know, when time is down and things get a little rough, you got to find an outlet. A lot of these kids on the gaming systems and this and that, that's kind of it's numbing you. PlayStations and all that. You're not, getting your brain working. So be creative. Get your drawing skills. Read a book. Do the things outside the norm that most kids is doing. You might look like you an outcast, but in the long run, people gonna look at you and be like, man, later on in life, I wish I was doing what he was doing. Now they look at you like, this guy's doing something really impactful because you're using yourself, always utilizing your mind. And don't be afraid as a young kid, young man, young woman to ask for help. Whether it's outside the sources from your mother or your father, if you feel uncomfortable with them, go to somebody that you can, validate with, a counselor at school or a life coach or somebody that you can actually talk to and see if they can help guide you and get you in the right track because you are future. You are the ones that are going to make things happen for the rest of us later in life. So when I'm old, decrepit, I don't want to be the OG sitting back like, man, what did I do wrong? I want to look at it and be like, man, I did everything right for the youth, impactful, you know?
And you want to go back and say, I did that.
Correct, man.
That's it,
correct.
Man. And thank you, man. I'm giving you your flowers. Man, we about to run it up.
Yeah.
We about to give all this love out. Y'all ready for all this love? We about to give all this love, all this compassion, all this motivation, all this life coaching. You come to RH2G, we will show you how that. It's a women's owned, veteran owned, minority owned, disabled veteran owned business. We operate underneath that umbrella. I am the founder, but I am the hood motivator. Hey, guess what? I got 100 of these coming. Pre-order these mugs. I got backpacks. I got mouse pads. I got gear coming. You know what I'm saying? Support us. We are veteran owned. This is why we do what we do. And thank you. Hey, stay tuned too, because I got a rocky road for my 3-year doctoral in business. But in 2027, I will be Dr. McIntyre. I start my doctorate in a week. I manifested that. I prayed on that. I had to show people I can get it back after I went bankrupt. I got my master's back, but I got some more to show them. E.T., thank you for inspiring me to get my doctorate. Grandfather Harris, George Harris, thank you for inspiring me, this black man, to go get my doctorate. And I'm going to remain the same. I'm not changing. And I thank you guys again, man. Thank you for coming on the show. RH2G, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Always.
When you tell the truth. They so mad. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
a capsule.
They're mad cause you told the truth. That's why they mad. They're mad cause you wanna be